Howdy folks, back again. I'm blowing up some of you guys' subscription page. I apologize. Seems like every day I'm getting a re-release or a new release or something like this. Michael Schenker, My Years with UFO, 50th anniversary celebration. I think I pre-ordered this thing like 6 months ago. Anyway, there's the cover. Seems like cool artwork. Not a whole lot going on inside. Pop that up. Nothing. There's your back there. Booklet. Not a whole lot going on with this booklet either. He's got a little brief history in there. Mentions a couple of his milestones, drawings, some thank yous. Something tells me Rudolph is not in the thank yous. So he's got, Michael he's re-recorded a bunch of UFO classics. He's brought in a bunch of guest singers, a few guest guitarists, one guest drummer. His band on this, when the drummer's not there, he's got Derek Sherinian on keys, Tichy on drums, and then Barry Sparks on bass. If you don't know who Barry Sparks is, he's been with Schenker for many years, going off and on, all the way back to the 90s. He recently started pulling double duty with Leatherwolf, and he's been with, he's played with Marty Friedman, Ted Nugent, Yngwie, Vinnie Moore, Tony McAlpine, Dokken. So he's got the pedigree. And the band sounds really good on here. All of them. Michael included, which comes no shocker. So when I first saw this coming out, which like I said, it feels like it was 6 months ago, I saw all the guests that he had, and I decided when I started listening to it, when it showed up, I was like, I'm not gonna go back and see who's in guesting on the band, on the album. I'm just gonna see if I can figure out who's who. I didn't think it'd be that difficult because there were some fairly prominent names in there. But right off the bat, we get Natural Thing. Real punchy. Joel Hoekstra also guest guitars on this one. And I'm like, man, I don't know who that singer is. And then as the song went on, I'm like, is that Dee Snider? And it is Dee Snider. I haven't bought anything from Dee Snider since Desperado. That come out in 96. So that's dang near 30 years. So I haven't heard him in a while. His voice has got a little bit of grit to it now. I actually like it. Natural Thing, great way to start off this album. And it's up there as being one of the best tunes on here. Only You Can Rock Me follows that up. It's got Joey Tempest from Europe and Roger Glover on bass. I was like, who is that? So I only own the first two Europe albums. Of course, I know they're big hits, but I would not have guessed that this was Joey Tempest either. So, I mean, how long, not that I would have remembered that he was on this album, but, I mean, how long has it been since the Final Countdown came around? So he's got a little bit of grit in his voice now, too. Age will do that to you. The song's fine. I think it kind of flattens out at the chorus. Not near as punchy as Natural Thing. Dr. Doctor's next. I couldn't figure out who this singer was either. It was Joe Lynn Turner. Now, I've never been the biggest Joe Lynn Turner fan. I never cared for his voice. I didn't think that he had enough grit in his voice for my personal taste. I know plenty of people like him, love him, but he's never been one of my favorites. Man, he's got some serious grit in his voice too. I never would have guessed that it was Joe Lynn Turner. I mean, I could pick out that it was Dee Snider. Of course, I did know that Dee Snider was on this album, but I would have never guessed that was Joe Lynn Turner. And like I said, I like his voice. It sounds really good. He probably hates his voice now, but I think I like it. Carmine Appice is also on this song, Doctor Doctor, which you can tell. When I was, like I said, I didn't look to see who was playing on what, but I could tell. I was like, this song is featuring a drummer, because the drummer's going to town back there. And sure enough, it was Carmine. Next up, we got Mother Mary. That's got Erik Grönwall, who recently Skid Row. I think he's fronting his own band now. He has some medical issues that makes it difficult for him to tour. So the Skid Row thing didn't work out. I did buy that album. It was really good. He's got a great voice. He does a great job on Mother Mary here. Slash is also on here. And Slash might actually outshine Schenker in the guitar department on this song. It's a good version of Mother Mary. All of these songs seem like they're just like a minute or so longer than the originals. Of course, Michael does not play the solos the same way. He keeps it true, as in the same feels there. He's not going crazy doing something completely different, but of course he doesn't even play the same songs same solos from night to night. But all these songs seem a little bit longer, so he's putting a little more guitar work in there. Of course, he's got guest guitarists on several tracks, so, and he lets them shine too, which was mighty nice of him. So yeah, the guitar work on here is stellar, which is of course the main reason I bought it. I mean, it was like a no-brainer when I saw it, and then after I bought it, I was like, wait a minute, do I really need Michael Schenker playing UFO songs? But then I was like, yeah, you're gonna get it anyway. I mean, I don't own a bad Michael Schenker album, and he did great with the Schenker Patterson Summit, and those weren't even his tunes. If you guys don't know who that is, they got he did man, I'm drawing a blank on the guy's first name. It's called the Schenker Patterson Summit, and they put out 2 albums of all cover tunes. The first one's the best one by far. The second one's good. Next up, you got This Kid's Biff Byford on vocals. I don't think Biff Byford was the best choice for this one. Not that it's bad. It's not bad. I just think Biff would have been better suited on other songs. The chorus maybe isn't as punchy as it could be. Now I love Biff's vocals, so that's not the problem. I just don't think I think they could have found a better song for him to do. Of course I could recognize Biff's vocals. And I recognize Axl's vocals on Love to Love. And let me tell you, they should have found a better song for Axl too. And you can tell that Axl's voice has extra production on it, and it still sounds rough. I can only imagine what he sounds like live these days. I've heard people talking about how he does not sound good live, and I can believe it from listening to this. I don't think this was a good choice for Axl to sing. I mean, this is kind of you kind of need a good voice, strong voice to sing Love to Love, and Axl's voice is struggling these days. Next up, you got Rock Bottom with Kai Hansen. I love Kai Hansen too, but I don't think that he was best suited for Rock Bottom. In fact, I think Biff should have sung Rock Bottom. I think his voice would have been much better suited for Rock Bottom. And while I was listening to Rock Bottom, I was thinking, you know, Kai should have sang like Too Hot to Handle. That would have been a better song for him to sing. And sure enough, the next song up was Too Hot to Handle. And Lynn Turner and Carmine Appice are back. Carmine Appice are back. And Adrian Vandenberg joins them. Another rockin' version. This is the only song where a singer appears twice, and then Carmine appears twice also. Another rockin' version. Lynn Turner's blowing my mind. Let It Roll's next. Michael Voss is on vocals. He's a singer singing Mad Max. I think he's singing Wolfpack. He was also on Michael Schenker's Temple of Rock, and he's worked with Michael here and there. He does a good job. He probably would have been a better choice to do Love to Love than Axl. Then the last song is Shoot Shoot. I didn't know who was singing this one either. I was like, I have no clue who that is. It's Stephen Pearcy, a Rat. Stephen Pearcy's got even more grit than he used to. Doesn't sound bad, but you know, he was never a strong singer, for lack of a better phrase. But he does a good song. He does good on the song. It's a good rockin' version. So overall, I think I'll give this 8 out of 10. I mean, the guitar work's phenomenal. Derek Sherinian, when he gets to shine on a song here and there, phenomenal. I mean, all the Brian Tichy. Everybody does a great job. Like I said, the only weak spot on here, I would say, is Axl doing Love to Love. And even though I said I think Biff and Kai should have done different songs, they're not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I just think that they could have found better songs for them. They better suited their voices. So anyway, Michael Schenker, my years with UFO, 50th anniversary celebration. 8 out of 10. If you've heard it, let me know what you think. You guys have a good one.